Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. I had to. I'm wearing a tiger shirt. How you guys doing? Looks like we got quite a few people in the stream today. Nice to see you all. Mike Ferrossi, hi. Your resident guy from the videos, coming to you with some product info today. Do me a favor, make sure the stream quality is good. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Is everything okay? Go ahead and type yes, no, whatever you need to in the chat. If you have any questions, just out the gate, pop them in the chat, please, so I make sure that I get to them for you. And you're going to see me darting around a little bit. I have a computer I'm streaming from here. I have a computer off to the side over here where I have some of the bulletins and guidelines and product changes and announcements and all the good stuff pulled up so we can reference those and make sure that I'm not assuming or missing everything in translation. I want to read straight to you from the bulletins that we actually get at AFN from our investors and things like that. So how are you all this fine Wednesday? Is stay-at-home life doing wonders for everybody? I hope so. So far today, we've gotten all of our language arts done, and we've started on our math. Currently, we're taking a My Little Pony break in the living room. So very accomplished today. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and start talking about a lot of the guideline changes and things like that. I know that you've seen a bajillion announcements. Members of Team AFN, that all staff email distribution has been getting abused lately. Unfortunately, it's all necessary, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go through some of it today, most of it. I'm not going to go through everything that's been sent out because things changed and then they changed again and then they changed again and they changed 784 more times. And now we're where we're at. So I want to concentrate mostly on where we're at. So no place to start like your bread and butter stuff. So conventional, Govy. I have the AFN announcement, the most recent AFN bulletin pulled up right now from April 10th. And not looking at any existing pipeline right now, I'm going to start with the new loans. So this is for all loans locked on or after April 1st, 2020. This is where we stand as of today. This is all loans, all product types. This is going to touch conventional, government, everything that you do on your standard core product. We have a 620 minimum FICO score. That's 620 across the board, not touching anything under 620 anymore. For credit scores 620 or higher and a 43 or lower DTI, you need 3 months reserves, 3 months documented reserves of the borrower's own funds. And if it's a cash out refi, that does include cash out from the transaction. You can go up to 50% with an AUS approval and those reserves. But manual underwrites 43, over 43 DTI, we need the AUS approval and the reserves. For credit scores over 620 with an AUS approval and 6 months documented reserves from borrower's own funds, you're going to be able to go over 50% DTI to whatever the automated underwriting engine approves for you. If you get a 52, 53 DTI approved, that's great. As long as we have those 6 months reserves from borrower's own funds, you're going to be good to go. For manual underwrites, again, we're going to be maxed at 43 and the 3 months reserves are required. On a manual underwrite, you can't use cash out from a cash out transaction. We need actual liquid borrower reserves prior to the transaction for a manual underwrite on a cash out. For investment properties and second homes, we need 6 months documented reserves from the borrower's own funds. So makes a little more sense. Talking about a lot riskier business there with the investment properties and second homes. And then if there is a forbearance, so if the borrower is currently in forbearance, The loan must be brought current prior to closing, and no mortgage rates permitted for all mortgages that the borrower has in their name within the last 12 months. There's some extra rental income and self-employment stuff here that I'm not really going to go into. I want to keep this kind of high level overview that's going to cover 95% of your transactions. Does anybody have any questions on that? And again, this is all loans, conventional and government, FHA, VA, USDA, all that stuff. We're looking at 620 minimum FICO across the board, and then you're going to have 3 or 6 months reserve requirements from the borrower's own funds, depending on the DTI. So the way I'm reading this, and I didn't write this stuff up, but the way I'm reading this, pretty good rule of thumb to go by in the field is 620 minimum FICO on everything, 3 months reserves required on everything, and then if you go over that 50 DTI with AUS approval, you're going to need 6 months reserves. All right, I'm clicking back in between a couple of different bulletins now. I want to see what's different for you on loans locked on or before March 31st, because I know a lot of that active pipeline is still out there. On those, we're looking at some age of document stuff, self-employed stuff. Okay, so a lot of those reserve and DTI related requirements on existing locked loans that were locked on or before March 31st, aren't going to apply unless it's like a self-employed borrower or something like that. If it's a FICO score less than 620, those are allowed to continue with 6 months documented reserves on the borrower's own funds. So a good little side note, definitely pull up the bulletins. I know they're numbered. I'm looking at bulletins number 20-30 and 20-29. So 20-30 and 20-29. Take a look at those two bulletins. Those are the most up-to-date bulletins. You won't have to sift through everything in the world that way to find out the current stance and current guidance on what AFN is doing for conventional government loans. 20-29 and 20-30. But again, 620 min FICO on everything. And then reserve requirements 3 or 6 months based on AUS approval, DTI, things like that. Moving on from conventional and government loans, I want to work into jumbo, because jumbo is something that I've personally been getting a lot of questions on, the non-conforming stuff. So I am, sorry, I have like an eyelash here or something. That's why I keep swiping at my face. But I did wash my hands. We're safe. I can touch my face today. We're okay. On jumbo stuff, pretty much everything's gone. Unfortunately, a lot of the non-QM basically went away industry-wide. It's starting to reboot a little bit, depending on the company that you're looking at. We'll go over that in a few minutes. But jumbo went along with it. I mean, non-agency business in general is all in the same boat, whether it was non-QM, bank statement, or no income DSCR loans, or just your standard prime, high-dollar jumbo full doc, high quality borrower. It's a non-agency loan. So it's all in the same boat. It was all affected the same way. The only jumbo player we have left for in-house transactions that we can readily underwrite, doc, and fund here at AFN is through Chase. The investor code I-16. The Chase jumbo programs are still available, though there has been some changes. So let me pull up Chase's most recent announcement for you, and we can go through that. So Chase, on their jumbo, they're no longer doing their high LTV transactions. So all the LTVs over 80% are no longer. They're also no longer doing investment properties or cash out refis. So that jumbo program has been restricted now to owner occupied and second home only. And then purchase rate and term and cash out on the primary residences, and purchaser rate and term on the second homes. And then you have a max 80% LTV. So here we're looking at a 700 minimum FICO score and 43 max DTI across the board. So all transactions, you're looking at 700 minimum FICO, 43 max DTI, on 1 unit, owner occupied, and second home. So on all 1 unit purchase rate and term, you're at 80 LTV. On 2 unit purchase rate and term for the primary residence, you're at 75. And then 3 to 4 units puts you at 70 max LTV. And then, sorry, I misspoke earlier. There's no more cash out. So sorry if I misled you there. No more cash out. What else do we have? 70 max LTV on their interest-only ARMs. So that's good. There still is an interest-only ARM option. Kevin piping into the chat says, Advantial has been doing a great job so far on my jumbo. Thank you, Kevin. That's awesome. If you guys, Team AFN, have any jumbo transactions that don't fit let's face it, it's a very small box that Chase program caters to. They pay for it. The pricing is great, but if you don't fit in that small box, there's not a whole lot of other options. Kevin Wagner has piped in and said that Advantial might be a good broker lender to contact for some of that maybe looser guideline, kind of larger lending box jumbo stuff. So thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that. If anybody else has any experience on recent transactions on where you may be brokering loans to that we can't accommodate in-house anymore, please pop them in the chat. We appreciate it. Everybody needs all the resources they can get. So Chase Jumbo, 70 to 80 max LTV, 700 minimum FICO score, 43 max DTI, really no cash outs anymore, no investment properties anymore. That's just been pulled back. And honestly, after Wells Fargo, of all companies, suspended their jumbo program completely, I was grateful that Chase just decided to pull back and actually kept the program going. It's awesome that we still have that option, and their pricing continues to be pretty darn good. So give it a look. Rick asks, who is doing VA high balance? That's a really good question. Not necessarily the topic of the stream, but because it's something I do want to touch on for everybody who is watching, there's no such thing as VA high balance. You guys got to know this. So VA high balance is something that's created by investors who are buying and selling, trading loans on the secondary market. Per VA's guidelines, they don't have a max loan amount. As long as you have the required guarantee, you can go up to millions of dollars of loan amount. They don't care. And they don't price differently. Ginnie Mae doesn't really price those differently. VA Direct, there's no set in stone difference between VA high balance and VA standard balance. With your conventional loans, your FHA loans, obviously you have your FHFA maximum county loan limits for conventional on the 1 to 4 unit properties. There's a clear-cut defined breakpoint between what's a standard balance transaction and a high balance transaction. For FHA, it's the same thing. It's county specific. It waivers all over the board, but there's a definite cutoff point for what's considered standard balance and what's considered high balance. For VA, there is no cutoff point. Now, when you lend more money from a banking perspective, when you lend somebody more money, your risk goes up. So the more money you lend somebody, if that one loan defaults, you're losing a lot more money. So investors do mitigate their risk by applying loan level price adjustments or separate base pricing sometimes on higher balance VA transactions, but those are going to differ from investor to investor. Some of them put them at 510,000, where the conventional stuff is. Some of them say loan amounts over 750,000, just because they've analyzed their portfolio and that's what they're comfortable with. But VA high balance isn't actually a thing. It's just a VA loan. So run your pricing, take a look in Optimal Blue. We have tons of investors pricing in there. There are a lot of investors still doing those higher balance VA transactions that are higher than maybe what we would normally see. But there's no specific, this is a high balance, this is not a high balance with VA. So it's not a separate program that they can easily adjust or cancel or suspend or whatever it is. So it's all lender by lender. But if we have pricing available in Optimal Blue, you're going to be able to do that loan. Got some more questions in the chat. We got Lisa saying, I feel their pricing is quite high. I'm not sure who's pricing. Maybe that's referencing Advantial that Kevin was talking about beforehand. I know a lot of people feels things about pricing. Let's stop feeling things when it comes to talking dollars and cents, because math and facts are what drive the industry when it comes to that stuff. Okay, Chase, you might feel that their pricing is quite high compared to what it used to be, but compared to the current market, having a jumbo option available makes the pricing good, because so many companies have completely gotten rid of them. It's unbelievable. So sometimes just getting a loan at a price is pretty darn good. They may have raised price to mitigate their risk in this crazy, crazy time that we're going through right now, which is expected. But the fact that they're still offering jumbos and they're not really reaming you on the price is pretty sweet. What else do we got here? Does that Chase Jumbo program allow for future income? That's a really good question. And I am going to refer that to Tasha. She's not able to be in the chat right now, but Tasha is our head jumbo underwriter. Feel free to email Tasha directly. I'm going to give you her email address right now. It is TTURCOTTE. That's TTURCOTTE@afncorp.com. She's available via email for all jumbo related underwriting questions for all of Team AFN. If you have a specific question like that, shoot it over to her, and she'll get it back to you with an accurate answer and probably more detail than you need sooner rather than later. Rick understands all of that. You only do VA loans? Awesome. You cannot place VA high balance. You keep saying VA high balance. I get that you understand it, but VA higher loan amount, okay? Pricing may be ridiculous, right? Yes, pricing is going to be ridiculous on a lot of loans right now. And it's because servicing values are darn near non-existent. I mean, when you're dealing with projected delinquency rates and and things like the industry is dealing with right now, I mean, some people are calling for 20% of some servicers' portfolios to go delinquent. So, I mean, if you're a mortgage servicer and 20% of your sometimes trillions of dollars of loans just aren't paying you, then how much of an appetite are you going to have to take on more servicing for new loans? You know, a lot of it's just trying to do your best to bail water and stay afloat. So a lot of the time, certain programs are going to be priced completely out of the market. There may be one or two niche lenders out there who are still doing them because they're valuing their servicing portfolio differently. And if you find a broker source that's going to allow you to do those, please use it. Definitely use it. If you're going to get better pricing than we have available in-house. I mean, if it's going to make the difference between making or breaking a deal, I mean, borrower first, man. Let's get that loan done. What else do we got? Is anybody brokering FHA high balance? Possibly. My best suggestion on the broker side of things, I mean, we have 30, by my last count, I think we have 36 active correspondent investor approvals. It's insane keeping up with that many guideline changes. Conversely, on the brokered outside, we have over 80 active and approved broker relationships. There's no way that we're able to keep up with all the changes that they're going through also. So go ahead and pull that broker list, the approved broker lender list, off the intranet or command center, wherever you have easy access to it, and start reaching out to some people. On the government side of things, I would start with like Carrington, maybe SunWest, if SunWest is on there, possibly Quicken. I'm not sure what they're doing right now, but I know that Carrington has been successful for some people, mainly on the lower FICO stuff, but maybe they're doing some of the higher dollar amount stuff too. What else do we got in the chat here? Provident will harass your borrowers to death. Thank you, Kevin. That's super valuable info. So Provident might work, but be careful. What is the current bulletin you reference? It's 20-29 and 20-28. If you want to pull them from your email archive or recheck your email, they were sent by Lisa Petrus on Friday, 4/10 at right around 3:20 Pacific daylight time. So 3:29 or 20-29 and 20-30 sent on Friday, April 10th, right around 3:20 Pacific Standard Time. Another question, do I have DSCR in-house? We're going to get into that. Answer is no, but we're going to get into that. Anybody have any other comments or questions on the jumbo stuff? I know we've gone over some conventional, some government. You kind of know where we're at there. Jumbo, we got Chase. That's about it. Maybe Advantial. Hopefully they're a good broker outlet. Linda has 3 foreign national loans on hold. Is anyone doing them with 25% down? Probably not. I'll be very honest with you. The first place I would call for that is FNBA. See if you can broker them to FNBA. They're not doing business in a few states. Since we are getting all these kind of fringe scenario questions, I'm going to get into non-QM now. I'll pull up my most recent update, and then we're going to reference a phone call that I had last night with one of our non-QM reps, actually. So in-house non-QM, it's gone. I mean, rip the Band-Aid off. Do it quick. Do it fast. It is what it is. It got caught in the undertow and was taken out to sea quicker than anybody could have imagined. In-house non-QM, completely gone. We don't have any in-house options. It's only broker now. On the broker side, the ones that I know of that are still active in funding loans are FNBA, and they have bank statement loans. They do ITINs. They do DACA borrowers. They will do some foreign nationals. They're not currently lending in California, Illinois, New York, Ohio, Jersey, Nevada, or Washington. So those, 6 or 7 states. In those states, they're not currently lending in them. They're available everywhere else in the nation for some bank statement stuff. They have some asset-based programs where we qualify off the assets instead of the income. Their bread and butter really is the ITIN type of stuff, but foreign national kind of goes hand in hand with that as well. And our new rep is Andy, named Andy Beerley. I sent all this info out to you guys before. I might put together like a synopsis email and send it to you again. But look for any of the non-conforming product announcements that I sent to you guys, and the contact info will be in there. This particular one I sent out on March 25th with the new updated contact info for everybody. March 25th at 4:53 Pacific time, if you need to reference it in your email. Other one that I know of, non-QM, that's still going strong is Axos Bank. They're based out of San Diego, but they lend nationwide. They have some bank statement stuff, a lot of commercial, so they might be able to help you with that. They are doing some DSCR. Not a whole lot of full doc stuff, but a little bit here and there. But Axos Bank for your bank statements, your investors, things like that, they're really good. The third place, excuse me, I got something in my eye here. The third place that is just flipped the switch back on after suspending everything, and they just did this maybe a day or two ago, is Sprout Mortgage. Our rep, Ken Peskin, I know a lot of you already have a good working relationship with him, but we can broker loans to Sprout Mortgage. Their guidelines have changed. Their product offering has changed a lot. What they're relaunching is a full doc program, 680 minimum FICO, meant to be more of a Chase Jumbo alternative type of program, and a bank statement loan. Again, I'm pretty sure it's 680 minimum FICO. You're looking for higher credit borrowers, but they are doing a bank statement program. They are doing a full doc program. 65 max LTV is what you're going to be looking at with them. Pretty restrictive. They're looking at loosening that guideline box and rolling out some more programs in the near future. But right now, it's kind of walking on eggshells out there to make sure that they're okay doing the business that they are currently doing. So full doc and bank statements, 65 max LTV. Their infrastructure is still so strong. Their operations team is completely in place. They're ready for the volume. They're ready for the influx. Give Ken Peskin at Sprout Mortgage a call. And then next week, I'm actually trying to get together some sort of a training or a product overview, some sort of a webinar for you guys, not only with Sprout, but there's one with Axos that I'm going to push out to you as well. So that way everybody can kind of get a handle on the offering there. ACC Mortgage on ITIN, good to know. ACC mortgage on ITIN loans. Give them a look. Pretty sure that we just finalized our broker approval with ACC mortgage. So they may be on the broker list now. Feel free to reach out to ACC mortgage for your ITIN loans, possibly foreign national too. Give them a ring, see what they do. Do we have DSCR in-house? No. Sorry, Paulino, no DSR in-house. Definitely not at 75 LTV. Axos will be doing some DSCR stuff, but not at 75 LTV. It's a different world than we knew 3-4 weeks ago. 640 FICO, 2.3 million cash out at 50 LTV. Any players left? No, not that I know of. I mean, all of this obviously is kind of off the top of my head. I don't know what everybody's offering, but I wouldn't imagine that there's anybody who's going to do a $2.3 million loan on a 640 FICO score borrower right now. I mean, 50 LTV, if they have a ton of reserves, maybe, but I don't know of anyone. Not saying they don't exist, just saying that I don't know of them. So that's what I have for you from a bulletin perspective. Non-QM, gone, broker them out. You can broker them out to FNBA, Axos, and Sprout again, finally. Jumbo, Chase, I-16. That's all. It's in-house. Conventional and Govy, the pricing is not going to look good on a lot of scenarios because servicing values aren't there. But look for some relief to that coming very, very soon. There are going to be some improvements, some changes to the model. Things are going to be rolled out. Look for that early next week. So good stuff. If you're not seeing John Gwynn's kind of daily update emails, he has alluded to it in the last 2 or 3. I spoke to our EVP of secondary, Scott, earlier today, and we were talking about exactly that. So there are some model changes and some pricing relief coming. Don't look to see something go from a 2-point cost to a 2-point rebate because there's just not that much out there. But you are going to get some improvements and you are going to see some positive things happening in the very near future. What else do we got here? You are so awesome. Anybody who wants to point out my awesomeness, I'm always going to read that comment. So thank you very much, Paulino. I appreciate it. Advantial shows they will do that jumbo cash out. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. So T. Miller, reach out to Kevin Wagner's contact at Advantial. Maybe if you guys can swap email addresses in the chat, or if somebody can look each other up and share some contact info, that would be awesome. That's exactly what this is for. Let's get together and help each other through this and get some loans done. Password is rates. Cool. ACC mortgage password is rates. Super creative and original. Do you guys have anything else for me while I'm here? Who checked out my most recent video on hedging and margin calls? If you don't know what a hedge or a margin call is, you're actually looking at my YouTube channel right now. So when we're done here, go back to my videos. I just posted it yesterday. Watch that video. It's a good, simple explanation of hedging and margin calls and kind of what's happening in the industry right now. If you rewind another week or two, there's a few videos on some mortgage banking 101, why all the craziness happened with non-conforming and non-QM, and also why you're seeing a lot of government program restrictions due to the way that those are serviced and guaranteed by the government. Cecilia, DACA, reach out to FNBA. They will do DACA the same as they will do ITIN. Marcelino, sorry if I missed it. Any changes to VA IRRRL? It's basically the same changes that we've had to everything. So your minimum 620 FICO, that's kind of program-wide, company-wide. The DTR requirements, if you have an income qualifying. But if you have any of those loans, the 620 minimum FICO, the reserve requirements, things like that, those are going to apply to all transactions, whether it's a new purchase or a streamline or a cash out or whatever it is. All conventional government transactions are going to have the 620 minimum FICO and then the DTI and reserve requirements that we mentioned in the beginning of the stream. Sharon, thank you for sharing that to your Facebook page. I hope it helped. And if anybody does want to, if you didn't know already, any of the videos that I send out to you guys they're completely shareable. So you can either pull up the video link from my YouTube page and pop it in your Facebook feed. I think it's called a feed. I don't have Facebook personally, so that's you guys. That's not me. Or I usually try to send out a separate LinkedIn link as well, because I won't just link to YouTube on LinkedIn. I like to upload it directly to LinkedIn, so that way you can repost or share as needed with your network. If you think your network can get some value out of information that I'm trying to put out there, feel free to push it to as many people as possible. Who else? Thank you guys for interacting and hopping on with me today, by the way. It's nice to chat with a bunch of adults. I love the mini me in the front room right now, but every once in a while, she's just not able to talk mortgage up to the level that I would like her to. I'm scrolling back up here. 7 million refi, no cash out, 15 million value. They should go to the Bank of Charles Bachman for that loan. Bank of Bachman. In all seriousness, Charles, I don't know of anybody who will go up to $7 million. Not that there isn't anyone, I just don't know of them. Is Sprout closing loans? Yes, they started again like yesterday. So very recent, yes, Sprout is closing loans. They're active, they are relaunching. Our rep, Ken, wanted to give it a week or so before he did a webinar for our team, just so he knows a little bit more of what he's talking about. He likes to be really well versed in stuff. So I imagine he's gonna eat, sleep, and breathe those guidelines for the next few days while he gets something put together for us. Construction to perm, not to my knowledge. And honestly, construction to perm is a tough one because while it's something that I've been working on trying to get something onboarded for like 2 years now, and it's hard. But right now in this environment, we have a lot of lenders who are suspending all of their just the renovation programs, like the home styles and the 203Ks and stuff like that. So a pure construction to perm in a social distancing type of environment when a lot of businesses are being forced to close down and stuff, I mean, just getting houses built is going to be next to impossible right now, let alone doing a construction to perm loan. So we don't have anything in-house. I know that we used to go through Flagstar, possibly AFR on the broker side. I don't know if they're still doing those. Joseph, what's your handicap? It's serviceable, but I don't like to talk about my handicap because sometimes it can come off braggy. We're not going to go there, but thank you for noticing. Union Bank goes to 10 million. Thank you, Sharon. Charles, check out Union Bank. If they're still alive and kicking the way they were a month ago, up to 10 million loan amount. So they might have a home for your $7 million loan. Who else? Who has questions? We're half an hour in. We still got a bunch of people here. It's great. All right. It looks like the chat is slowing down a little bit. We've been going at it for a little over a half an hour. So I'm going to call it a day. Cut it off here. Thank you, everybody, for interacting. I appreciate you chatting with me. I hope kind of the synopsis of all those crazy bulletins that we've been bombarded with over the past few weeks helped. This is going to be posted instantly to the YouTube channel as a video that you can re-watch. So if you didn't miss anything, or if you want to send it to anybody as a resource, they could probably just go back and listen to the first 10, maybe 15 minutes of this and get all the pertinent information that you need. Minus all the fun chat stuff that we did here. Do we have HELOCs? No, not in-house. We can broker them to TCF, I believe. Kevin, I will take you up on that as soon as we're all as soon as we're all freed and we're not imprisoned in our homes anymore. I would love to come visit in Jupiter. We'll bring the sticks, talk some shop, and have some fun. All right, guys. Thank you very much for being with me today. I appreciate it, and we will talk to you the next time.